Let's start chapter 7. Luyo arrived at the training square located downstairs in the middle of the district. The earlier testing stone had been broken by Luyo and a new one had just been erected. The old testing stone had been in this district for 30 years. No one had broken it before nor had it been damaged. It had been in continuous use for 30 years. When the new testing stone had just been erected, many people in the district felt that it was very refreshing and gathered around to ogle at the new testing stone. The dating couple that Luyu had met earlier were currently bragging in the crowd. "Are you all very curious about who broke this testing stone? I saw it today. My girlfriend saw it too, and she even knows that person." "That's right, I saw it today. It's Grandpa Lou from our neighborhood. I didn't expect Grandpa Lou to be so powerful at such an old age. He's an expert who participated in the Holy War after all. His strength is indeed formidable." I was the first one to chance upon the sight of the broken stone. The old testing stone was broken and scattered all over the ground, and the monitoring device beside it showed 12,000 kilograms. When the residents in the neighborhood heard the couple's word, they found it hard to believe. They started pointing here and there, debating heatedly. "Really? Is there such a powerful person in our neighborhood? 12,000 kilograms? That's at least the strength of a junior martial master or even an intermediate martial master. Do martial masters even live in our neighborhood?" "By Grandpa Lou, you're referring to that old man Lou, right? Are you serious? He's already 80 or 90-year-old, yet he still has this level of skills evolution? In any case, I don't believe it. Last year, during the Federation martial arts trial, I remember that he was rated as grade 1 martial arts warrior. It's impossible for him to reach 1200 kilograms, let alone 12,000 kilograms. It's not that simple. Why don't we ask old Louis and get him to punch for us on the spot?" Martial masters were considered experts and were rarely seen. In particular, it was impossible to meet any in this kind of old neighborhood. The residents naturally didn't believe it. Lu Yu, who was not too far away, didn't take their queries seriously at all. When he heard them, he also didn't bother to prove himself to them. There was no need at all to argue with these residents, and thus there was no benefit in proving his abilities to them. Seeing that there were more people, Lu Yu decided to leave. When there were fewer people, he would come back again to test his strength. For the moment, he decided to practice his martial arts first. First of all, he had to completely refine and absorb the aquila meat in his stomach. By the time he got home, his wife Giovanna had already gone out to work. Luyu came to the attic by himself. He sat by the window and began to circulate the great Tao heaven devouring art, developing his skills. Luyu easily broke through the small bottleneck of a grade 6 martial arts warrior. As he absorbed and refined the energy within the aquila meat, Luyu's strength rose at a rate visible to the naked eye. Only when the sky had completely darkened did Luyu stop his training. After half a day of focused training, Luyu had already absorbed and refined all of the aquila meat in his stomach. Luyu's strength had already reached the grade 8 martial arts warrior, instantly advancing by 2 levels. As for the great Tao heaven devouring skill, it also achieved a breakthrough. It went from beginner stage to the minor achievement stage. In ordinary skills techniques, at present they were broken into 4 stages from low to high. There were the beginner stage, minor achievement stage, major achievement stage, and perfection stage. It was said that there were even higher levels above this, but given Lu Yu's current rank, he didn't know about these secrets. After the great Tao heaven devouring skill had advanced to the minor achievement stage, its multiplier had increased from 12 times to 16 times. In other words, when Luyu was testing or fighting, as long as he activated the Great Dao Heaven devouring skill and kept it active, the power of his external skills would instantly increase by 16 times, and it was extremely incredible. After half a day of training, Luyu's strength had risen substantially in a short time. With the increase in his strength, Luyu went downstairs in a good mood. His wife Giovanna had already returned from work and prepared dinner. Seeing that Luyu was training, she didn't disturb him and laid out the cooked dishes on the table. It was already late at night and his wife and children had already gone to bed. Luyu looked at the small note left on the table, telling him where his food was and also telling him to take care of his body while he was training seriously. It was a very heartwarming touch. After Luyu heated up the food and finished eating, he went downstairs and came to the front of the new testing stone in the center of the training square in their district. It was already late at night, and the residents of the district had already gone back to rest. Aside from Luyu, there was no one else in the entire training square. In the dead of the night, when it was very silent, the atmosphere was perfect for Luyu to test his current strength. The new testing stone was the same size as the testing stone from before, which was the most basic version. However, its color was a little darker. It changed from the previous white grey to the current light grey. The material looked so much better and the new testing stone should be of a higher grade. Luyu didn't know what the limit of this new testing stone was. In order to prevent himself from destroying the stone in one full strength strike and thereby not being able to find out his strength, Luyu didn't use any of his multiplier skill and instead did only a raw strength test first. Luyu lowered his body, took a deep breath and then gave one punch. The testing stone did not budge at all. On the monitoring device beside him, it read 1324 kilograms. He was able to hit 1324 kilograms without using any technique. He had indeed reached the strength of a grade 8 martial arts warrior. Then Luyu executed 2 more tests. The result of the 2 tests were 1333 kg and 1341 kg respectively. Seeing these results, Luyu frowned slightly. He had clearly used all his strength in all tries. But why was his punch getting stronger each time? The extent of increase was very small. It was only a few kilograms of fist strength compared to the 1000 kilograms of fist strength. The impact of a few kilograms was very small. However, it was indeed clearly and indisputably increasing in power. After every short while, it would become stronger. Luyu sensed the changes within his body. After attaining the minor achievement stage in the Great Dao Heaven devouring skill, other than the 16 times multiplier effect, there seemed to be some changes in other aspects. The dinner he had just eaten and the last remnants of the aquila meat in his stomach were still being slowly digested and absorbed by Luyu's Great Dao Heaven devouring skill. Although the speed was very slow, it was automatically absorbing and digesting all the time. And this also brought Luyu constant increase in his strength and by implication, constant increase in his own power. Upon realizing this, Luyu was overjoyed. Who would have thought that the Great Dao Heaven devouring skill would have such benefits after reaching the minor achievement stage? Even though the rate of the improvement was not fast, in fact it was actually quite slow. The most important thing was that he could increase his strength every second and he didn't need to do any training himself. This was indeed heaven defying. Dripping water could form rivers over time. He would be able to constantly elevate his skills, evolution, and strengthen his abilities. Moreover, this was only the early stage. What if the Great Dao Heaven devouring skill reached the major achievement stage? Or if the food in Luyu's stomach was of highest quality? Would not this mean that this skill evolution at every second would be elevated even more rapidly? Chapter finished. See you again, guys, in next chapter.